What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to PlayStation Generation Episode 17. My name is Matt, and I'll be your host for today's events. I'm joined, as always, by the great card collector himself, Mr. Court Lalonde. What's up, Court?
Hey, buddy. Whatever. You're the one pulling the hotness right now. You just smoke show packs right now,
Bro, we both pulled in the hotness. I never had this kind of luck as a kid, so right now I am eating it up, bro.
dude. So I'll say this before we even get into it, because Matt and I, we were all talking about collecting cards, and Matt does One Piece, and look, I even remembered.
Attaboy.
And my daughter got into Pokemon, and Matt a couple months ago was like, Court, because I told him that I used to collect cards. He's like, you're gonna get back into it. And I was like, I'm not. So I bought a pack of Upper Deck Series 2 about 2 weeks ago now, and I pulled a $700 card in the pack, the Connor Bedard rookie, and I'm like, oh. And my daughter, who whenever she gets cards from Santa, she gets like whatever rookie you're supposed to get for that year. She pulls them in the packs all the time. So I'm like,
should I just
have
start
all these
sending
cards
packs to your daughter to do the pulls for me?
So she does. So she's so good. So I did that. So on the weekend, we went to Walmart because that's literally one of the best places to get hockey cards.
Oh,
Because they're always cheap. They put them on sale all the time. The card stores don't. But the Walmart will be like, well, we need them off the shelf. So we bought last year's Upper Deck Series 2, and she got one box. I let her open every pack. You get 2 Young Guns in a box, and it's a blaster box. And there's only 4 packs. She got both. One Young Gun was worth $70, and the other one was worth $40. I'm just like, oh my god, this girl,
Dude.
I know if I opened them, nothing would be there, and I know that's not a real thing, but I believe it.
No, I'm 100% with you. Like it's there's something about it, but yeah, I'm back into I'm into One Piece. I haven't been into a card game since like Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh from years past. So I'm
Dude,
back.
we got Yu-Gi-Oh at Walmart right now on sale.
Bro, the One Piece cards, as soon as they hit Walmart, there are people waiting there to take them. That like it is like the hottest card game right now, and it's being scalped to shit. So it's like people literally go to Walmart to buy them like the second they hit the shelves. It's a wild time. But we're also joined this week by the PlayStation Hokage himself, Mr. Rice Boy. What's up, Bryce?
hey, what's good? What's good? If you are currently watching and you're watching me wipe stuff off my shirt, it's I did a little pre. Oh yes, but aside from that, I was also
it's still there. That's the one. That's the one.
There's a little bit right here that I missed.
That's the
but
one.
I was shaving.
Court and I were chatting, and I just see Rice kind of like bend over and moved off to the side, and then all you see is like a shaver creep into frame as he starts going at it quick, literally 30 seconds before we go live. It was incredible. I loved every second of it.
What's up, everybody? Good to be here. Good to see you guys.
Welcome to the PlayStation Card Game Shavecast. This is your number one spot for all the news regarding those 3 things. On this week's show, we're going to talk about some Game Pass stuff. We're going to talk about some RGG, some college football, some Concord, and a bunch more. So stay strapped and locked and loaded because we're about to kick it off. But before we do all that, let's chat a little bit about what's been keeping our attention lately. There's been some video games flying around in the ether. Court, I'm going to save you for last because I want to dive into yours a little bit. Rice, my dude, what's been keeping you busy?
Yeah, so played a little bit of Concord. Sadly, just a little bit. And we'll
sounds like everybody was there.
Yeah. But other than Concord, the usual daily Destiny 2, and I'm also diving a little bit more into the First Descendant. Yeah, it's
the Nexon one, right?
Is it hard? Is it that hard?
It's not
okay.
It's not difficult by any means. I think that for me, my biggest issue is that it's not capturing me. It's not really like gripping me to stay or anything. Or being a looter shooter fan myself, I do find that it's not Destiny 2, it's not the Division 2, and just kind of come back.
What about it is just not vibing?
I think that it's the characters. Maybe I find them a bit kind of boxy and not exciting. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe
they're just plain Janes.
Yeah, and it is a free to play game. I don't know what I was expecting from a free to play game, but yeah, it's not hitting.
You literally play Destiny 2 all the time.
Yes, it's true. But it didn't used to. This one started off as free to play.
Plus, Nexon is it Nexon or NetEase? I always mix the two up. Hold on.
The fact that I don't know is
Let me
already
fact check myself. It is
Nexon, yeah.
Nexon. Yeah, Nexon is known for being pretty egregious with their microtransaction stuff, but the player counts for that game racking up. Like it seems to be doing well. But from what I've seen and from what I've heard, I don't know. It just seems kind of janky. Like it doesn't.
Ooh, nothing about this sounds good.
Yeah, like it's free to play, so people can hop in and hop out as they please. But from what I've seen, I'm kind of like, the graphics don't look exactly right. The art style is kind of like
dated.
Like, yeah, it looks like Gears of War but blue. And like the gameplay itself looks kind of meh.
And like there's so much HUD.
HUD
that you cannot really customize. And it's just really clunky on the screen. And like you can have a group of people and have fun. Don't get me wrong. But I think that speaks more to like you having fun with people rather than the game being extraordinary itself.
Ooh,
gotcha. Fair enough.
Jesus.
Let's talk about Concord a little bit, because I also spent some time with it over the past weekend for the open beta. And you know what? Let's just dive into this right now. I'm going to pull in a story that Corp brought into.
I did play it, but I like somebody else. I played 2 matches and was like, nope.
Okay, let's go here. Never mind. Forbes is blocking my ad blocker, so we're gonna hop back out. But basically, Paul Tassier wrote an article on Forbes talking about how the numbers on Concord are not the highest. We obviously don't have PlayStation numbers. That's a given. But the numbers on Steam,
which are a good barometer of how the game, especially if we think about Helldivers 2, where Steam numbers were larger.
100%. Steam. Hold on, I'm just trying to pull.
And I did. It's interesting, Matt. While you're pulling it up, my brother was here this weekend, and he's a PC player. Like that's all he does. And I asked him if he jumped into Concord, and he's like, "I did." I was like, "How'd you like it?" He's like, "I'm back to playing Destiny."
Yeah. So it
like, all right.
It peaked at just over 2,300 players over the course of the weekend. The 24-hour peak was 1,080, and this was now in the open beta. Obviously, numbers were lower last weekend because it was closed. People were like, let's see what happens. But the numbers aren't hitting, and I think that's despite the fact that the game isn't bad, but I've seen some people, I still do like it, and I still am excited to play it, but I think it is incredibly dependent on who you're playing with.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm seeing the same 5 or 6 free gunners, and like some of them are just not at all in the picture. Like that Android looking one with the little pew pew, I feel like I never see them out and about. Spawns are still messy. Like I feel like the amount of times I spawn just to be on the opposite side of the map from my team, and I can't get there without by the time that they get shredded. There are issues here. I still think that mechanically it is fun to play. I still think that the free gunners that I clicked with are fun to play, but I think there, a lot of people are saying that this shouldn't be paid, and I would always rather have a game be a paid experience with less microtransactions. But I think that PlayStation may be looking at this in hopes that it might be a Helldivers 2, and maybe it should have been a First Descendant. Maybe it should have been a free-to-play experience for people to hop in on, because these numbers and the kind of general feeling online, especially after these last 2 weekends, is just kind of whelmed. Like there's something solid here, but it's a hero shooter in a time when hero shooters are kind of starting to fade, and like
it's saturated. That market is saturated. Look at Overwatch 2. It lost a lot of its player base, right?
Yeah, because they made some stupid ass decisions. But yeah, I don't know. Bryce, you're kind of like the resident shooter expert, especially with all the Destiny 2 knowledge. Where are you at on Concord? Do you see this landing after all of this?
Yeah, I think you guys said it. Like it's a saturated market. I think that people have already, when you have a hero shooter like this, you want people to invest, and you want people to have like a solid amount of time playing the game in order to unlock X, Y, and Z, to progress your character, or even just like, keep grabbing people in. And like you said, mechanically there are issues, like even just the time to kill for certain free gunners, I felt just are not balanced based on their abilities or based on their perks. I did kind of gravitate more towards the high damage output free gunners, because all the ones that have kind of like a longer TTK, their perks are not they don't give me incentive to use those perks as much. And so yeah, there are balancing issues, like you said, the spawn stuff. And so
Chris
I
in the chat real
feel
quick too saying Marvel Rivals is about to come out, super saturated. Fantastic point.
yeah,
And
and
that's gonna have people just because of the IP.
Well, that's
For sure.
Overwatch, but Marvel. Like there's nothing more to
Right.
it, right?
Right. And that's just it, is the statement that a lot of players are playing is like, well, I'm already on another game that's like this, but better.
And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there as well, Rice, because progression, I feel like I see all of these numbers popping off post match. And I genuinely, most of the time, don't know what it is that I'm working
Yes.
towards. The free gunners level up. What does that do? My battle pass goes up, but like it's like go get like 10,000 more, and you're gonna get a new icon or a new thing for your business card. And it's kind of like
Yeah.
I don't feel incentivized to put in the grind and put in the hours to work through that progression because I don't feel like it's worth it at this point in time.
I also think the UI for those cards and everything at the end are terrible.
Really messy.
Agreed.
Really, really bad. I like it's not that I can't see it. It's just like I don't want to see it. It's like I get that off a screen. Like it just doesn't look good. And for me in this game, what I find with Concord, because I tried to jump back in, and I was like, oh, I'll jump back in. I find the barrier to entry too much. So
Fair.
if you're not playing with a fire team, it's over.
Yeah,
it's like
100%.
there's no point in playing this game. Like plain and simple, and that sucks. And I think what you guys were talking about, how there's so many of these types of games, there is, and I don't think there's enough room. PlayStation has done a job, and a decent job of it, of bringing out these games, but like a lot of them, they're coming out too late.
Yes,
and I feel terrible that this is their first game, right? Firewalk Studios.
Firewalk, yep.
I feel terrible that this is their first game because I do agree with you, Rice. It takes way too dang long to kill somebody. It just doesn't even make sense. I'll even see it where I'll get the guy down like this, and like 2 seconds later, he's back on the screen. He's got full health again. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like even when you get the re-up of the health, I think that you regenerate your health way too quick.
Right.
Like once you've hit that, I think that should be a slow regeneration path. So because the more you're able to kill people, the more fun the game is. And I think it takes way too darn long to do it. So that saps fun out, right? And then I think you're bang on, Matt, where what am I doing it for? Like there's no reason to do this. Who cares?
Yep. Chris in the chat, I had the same experience. I've had people drop out of a match because we were behind in score. Same. And then on a 5v5 where we're down by like 4 or 5 points mid-match, it's not insurmountable, right? It's not. But people drop like flies. I had people bounce out. Like, you know, we went from a 5 team squad, 5 squad team, whatever, down to like 3 people. And it's just like the next 5 minutes is just like, I don't want to quit out. I feel wrong doing that. I want to see the match through. But like, I'm not having any more fun at that point because we're just getting steamrolled.
I have a prediction here. I think this game will be free on PlayStation Plus very, very quickly.
The problem is that it should be at Go. Helldiver, I think PlayStation is looking at this and they're like, we could have another Helldivers 2 hit on our hands.
But even those numbers are gone.
But it doesn't matter. Any live service game will inherently lose player count over time. That's just part of it. But Helldivers 2 for like 3 months was a phenomenon. It was on, but it's because it had a unique value proposition saying we are a PvE co-op shooter. You're going to play with your friends. It's loud. It's dumb. It's a riot. And you playing by yourself, you can do that and still enjoy the experience.
Right.
Like 100%. So I feel like Helldivers 2 was a paid, you know, online shooter that worked. Right. Concord doesn't have enough in the bag, in my opinion, right now. I think it was Paris Lily on Twitter was like, this game should go away until next year. Let them figure it back out because there is a solid base here. Yeah. And I don't want that to be lost because I do think that there is something inherently good in here.
I didn't even think of that. Like, honestly, maybe bring it out and be like, here's the paid version and this is what you get with it. And here's the free to play version. Which one do you want?
Right. The problem is that you can really build a pay to win experience there if you lock certain free runners behind a paywall. Sure. And that's a dangerous thing. What you should do is either go free to play
like XDefiant.
Like sure. Throw it onto PlayStation Plus or wait and give it time and figure out what is this game's value proposition.
I think PlayStation Plus would make this game work because if you need people to play with.
Right.
And then if people don't want PlayStation Plus, you pay for it.
I think you could at least give it a chance at that point. But yeah, we'll talk more about Concord as we get closer to and into launch.
No,
but I mean, we will.
No, I won't.
Otherwise, I've been playing Zenless Zone Zero still my daily driver at this point, still having a lot of fun with it. I'm going to have a review go on live on Console Creatures today or tomorrow for a game called Evil v Evil, which is basically Vampire Left 4 Dead. Coming to console next year. It's fun. It's mindless. Hop into levels together, and you're vampires, and you just mow through enemies, and you bite them, and you suck their blood, and it's a good time.
Nice.
But yeah, it's fun. Court, let's talk about college football because it is everywhere, all over my Twitter timeline right now.
It's a big game.
Can you please explain to me why is this a big deal? Because I feel like NFL comes out every year. Why is it now why is college football a big deal?
So the last time this game was out was 2014 on the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 3. The game at one point, that game, College Football 2014, the Xbox version for some reason, not the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 3 version, was like $300. If you had a graded 10, you could get like $500 for this game because they stopped the licensing was taken away. So in college football, the players weren't being paid for this. So when you play an NBA game, when you play a baseball game, hockey game, the players get their cut. So a cut goes to the Players Association, a cut goes to the league, and that's just the way it works. And the advertisers, so on and so forth. It's just like in real sports. But in college football, no one's getting anything. So there's names on there, and these players weren't seeing a dime. Now, these players are getting money now, and they get a free copy of the game. It ain't much, but they get something. The way the college football whole thing works is a scam, to say the least. These players get treated like cattle, and they get paid bupkis compared to how much money. College football is bigger than the NFL in the United States.
Right.
Really?
Oh yeah, like it's a
big deal.
It's a huge deal. Did you see the player count for this game? This
game it peaked at like 700 something thousand.
It just
before in early access.
Yes.
Like that's ridiculous.
Everybody I know, like I haven't played a Madden game in I would say 4 years. 4 years because they were just they got to a point where I just didn't care anymore. This does feel different. So I will say this. The reason everybody's playing this is a lot to do with the game hasn't been out since 2014. And you have a huge allegiance in the United States to your alma mater or the school you went to. For me, I didn't go to university in the United States. So because I'm originally from Boston, I chose Boston College because it's the only one I could take. I also know who they are. They're not the best team, but that's the other thing. It's a lot different than your NBA, your NHL and such, because each college football team has its own program and its own set of plays and everything. So everything is actually different depending on how you play the team. When you play an NHL, everybody's using the same plays. You're just using different players. But the way college football works is they're literally different programs. They call them programs, and everything is different. The presentation value in this game is better than MLB The Show, and I didn't think I could ever say that. Wow. MLB The Show,
that's a high
year
bar.
in and year out, knocks it out of the park for presentation. They do such a good job of making you feel like you're at a Major League Baseball game, and they really wow you. NBA 2K is pretty much a casino game with NBA players. NHL and Madden and FIFA, the same thing. They've got this like they stayed away from the presentation. I saw someone put up a video. It was like, listen to this great music that you've got in College Football 2025, and then here's what's in Madden and all that. And everybody's like, what? This doesn't even make any sense. Or like stuff from 2006 where they hit you at the beginning of a sports game with like a video and give you that hype. Like we all love hype. They don't give you anything in the new games. They're just like, here's the menu. Go to the screen where we want to take your money. College football starts off with hype, just like MLB The Show did this year, where their video at the very beginning, when you turn on the game, you're just like, wow, it gives you the chills. College football does that. They get you hyped. And that's what college football is about. It's about having the band, the cheerleaders, everything. The presentation, like I said, when you're walking out of the tunnel, out of the dressing room for Boston College, they show the ceremony of touching the Eagle statue. When you're walking out of the Gators, you show them touching the Gators. Or when you're, I think it's, I can't remember which team it is. They're walking down a hill to get onto the field. You got Notre Dame where you see everybody touching the ceiling. Like they hit on all the nuances for each individual university. Unbelievable. The stadiums look great. The fans look absolutely terrible.
I mean,
They look so ass. I haven't seen fans in the stands look this ass in a long time. Like I thought the NHL and the FIFA games, and FIFA they're little dots, but like the NHL games, they have like the 14 different NPCs that they put in the stands and they're just all scattered.
Yeah.
They didn't even do that. They have the 2 NPCs and the band, and that's it. Like they look so bad, and they're all moving at the exact same time, so it looks
Right.
absolutely terrible. So I will say that for presentation wise, it's great, but for the fans in the stands, it is terrible. I wish I could just
Paper.
have it so like don't show me that camera angle because it takes you away from the game. It's so bad.
Right, takes you out. That's
It's
crazy.
I can't believe how bad. Like it's probably it looks like PlayStation 3.
wow.
NBA
bad.
Jam.
Yeah,
I
that's
wish.
perfect. It looks really bad. They
How's
wish,
the gameplay?
The gameplay is phenomenal. So there's
Mhm.
different levels.
Mhm.
I haven't, like I said, I haven't played a Madden game in 4 years, but for this, it felt very intuitive. Also hard, even on the easiest. Like kicking a field goal is way too
Right.
hard, which is not a bad thing because if it gets too easy in the game, you're just going to blow out another team, especially in a football game because it's done by plays, right? So if you're, running the ball, throwing the ball, but you're just getting a touchdown every single time you get the ball, it can
Mhm.
get
Boring.
exactly
Yeah.
like when you're
Yeah.
playing a hockey game, there's a lot of motion going back and forth. And in a football game, you can easily have a blowout and it gets terrible real quick.
Right.
They do have a difficulty spike. I'm playing on the easiest difficulty right now because I don't know much about football. Like I watch football. I never played it, so I don't know what plays are. I can read them. I'm not saying I don't know. Like if I see a nickel package or a dime package, I know what it means.
Mhm.
And I know I'm saying things that don't make sense, but I know what they mean. I know what a run play is. I know
Yeah.
What a
how the
hook
plays I
play
can look at
is.
them.
You understand the game
Post.
fundamentally.
Yes, I know what I know all the rules, but I do find to throw the ball when you're throwing the ball as the quarterback, you can do a hot pass where you're tossing it in hot, or you can do a lob pass. There's different types. You can even do a side pass. They give you a lot of options. I did play the training to learn how to play the game again,
Mhm.
and like the different things for the running back to do spin moves, stiff arms, and so on and so forth.
Nice.
But I do like the ball dynamics. If you fumble the ball or drop the ball doesn't just fall like in other games where it just sits there. It like actually it's its own thing. It can actually,
Oh,
based on
yeah.
how it falls, it can bounce around. So you're getting that kind of stuff. But I find it very intuitive. Um, I'm playing around with the views and such because I do have a little bit of an issue when I'm playing defense and I'm trying to be the cornerback and I'm trying to do an interception. I I don't see my guy until the ball is like really close to him, which I find frustrating, but I know I can change views. I know when I used to play Madden all the time, I got to a point where I was able to like hotkey it and like change it to the corner, like know where everything is
Mhm.
going. I think I will get there again. I've put about 10 hours into the game.
Nice.
I've really enjoyed it. It feels real. There is the dynasty mode and the road to glory modes that I've tried. Road to glory is more of a campaign. You create your own player and you go through, you pick your school and so on and so forth. And then you playing as that one player. Dynasty mode is like Hockey Ultimate Team that I used to talk about for NHL all the time. It's the give me your money game,
Mhm.
which is fine because there's at least, and I don't understand why they don't do this for all of them. Maybe they have to because it's a college football game and they don't want to. There is a battle pass. It's not called
Okay.
one, but it's definitely a battle pass. But you don't pay for it, and then there's a progression. They allow you to earn money that you can go towards buying packs. And there are still packs to build your team that you can only buy with real money. And that's something that EA does that drives me absolutely insane. MLB The Show did it this year, and it made me not want to play the game anymore because I feel that is unfair practices.
That's pay to win.
Sure. Yep.
It's terrible. It sucks. So they do have that. I don't feel like the microtransactions are as overbearing as they are in Madden or 2K. 2K, they're basketball games. They might as well just say it's a gambling. Like that's all that game is.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
like I almost might as well say it's a slot machine. NHL is pretty bad too as well. I'm hoping that EA can try and find a better balance. This feels like a better balance because I can earn things and the task to get the better players isn't as bad, but they still got the gotchas in there to pay to win,
Of course.
which I don't like. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's bad form, and I think EA maybe they need competition to maybe wake them up because they
Fair.
don't.
Right.
They don't have competition in any of their fields,
Yeah.
except NBA. But like whatever, I don't think 2K is
Yeah.
that good of a game either. So It is what it is. But I'm really hoping that there's some sort of competition, so I don't, because I love playing these modes. It's just I don't like spending the money. And then that's so far my impressions of the game so far. Like I said, I've just put over 10 hours. I am enjoying my time, and I know nothing about college football. I know schools, but I know nothing, and I'm enjoying my time with it. I'm going back and forth, playing a lot, playing with friends. Pretty much anybody I know in the sporting world, they bought this game. Like, this is like perfect example compared to it's Grand Theft Auto. For sports people, like everybody's gonna buy it. Doesn't matter if you're a football fan or not. You're buying this game.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I mean, the success that this game is having is incredible. I wonder if EA predicted just how big this return would be.
Oh, they knew, dude. They announced this game, and it was just a sneaks on while
it's a boy prime.
They just put up a logo and put college football EA. That was it. Like, you know how they did Metroid Prime? That's all they did, and it was like a Grand Theft Auto moment. It blew up the internet.
There you go. Well, I'm sure we're going to see these annually now that they know how much money's on the table. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. Stoked to see what you think next week. Let's hop into some news because we have some stuff we got to roll through. And let's start with a very Rice news story coming from IGN, written by Adam Bankhurst and Mitchell Saltzman. Tekken 8 will finally get Heihachi in August 2024. Tekken 8 will finally be getting Heihachi Mishima, as he will be joining the roster in fall 2024 as the third DLC character. The big news was announced at EVO 2024, and it's a welcome announcement, as fans have been waiting for the king of the Iron Fist since he wasn't part of the roster at launch. It made sense at the time since he met his end during Tekken 7's story, but he's been a mainstay that fans wanted back in some form. Rice, how are we feeling about the return of Heihachi?
Oh man, I'm all for it. I am all for it. I know there are fighters out there that are like, nah, leave him behind, but I can't. And I unashamedly, unapologetically love Heihachi and like what he means to the Tekken franchise. Now, I know there were gripes about people about not getting Heihachi right up front, but I think that made sense to me, especially for those of you who have been following kind of the narrative, overarching narrative of the fighters, specifically Reina and what that would mean for the Heihachi legacy
all the time.
The Mishima legacy rather, and what that would mean for the future of the different styles. So I'm all for it, guys. Like, we don't talk Tekken a lot, but you know that I talk Tekken all the time, and I just love this game so much. I'm all for this, and I hope that all of the fans that have been waiting are happy about.
We're like the only podcast that even mentions Tekken.
Man, it's all good over here, bro. That's for sure.
I'm stoked for you, dude. I'm excited. Heihachi. When I think Tekken, I think Heihachi.
Yeah.
And I also think Kuma. I don't know why. Those are the two that
pop
makes
into
my mind right away.
When I think Tekken, I think the Tekken. I didn't even know who Heihachi is.
Like, of course, said the Tekken earlier. I love it.
Very much the Google energy. I'm stoked for you, dude. I'm excited and excited to hear your thoughts once Heihachi returns to the land of the living, or whatever they're gonna do with him. I have no idea, but we're gonna find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's roll into our next story coming from PlayStation Lifestyle. Astro Bot PS5 length revealed, and it's good news for trophy hunters. This is coming from Zarmina Khan. Team Asobi has revealed that Astro Bot PS5 estimated length in a new interview, and those who like to chase platinum trophies will be pleased to know that it won't be a huge time sink. According to creative director Nicolas Doucet, it should take players about an average of 12 to 15 hours to beat the campaign, depending on their playstyle. He went on to say that they were not looking for unrealistic targets for like making a 20 to 30 hour experience. They didn't want to make things feel repetitive. They'd rather just zone in and make a fantastic, tight experience. Court, hit me with those thoughts.
All that was it was just so exciting. They pretty much telling us that, hey, you can get the platinum in one playthrough. Like I said, this is one of those games where I'm very, very, very excited to play with my daughter. She loves this game. She can go back and play this game, doesn't care about trophies, just keep playing the same levels over and over and over again.
Yep.
I am beyond excited. I would honestly safe to say this is my most anticipated game of the year over Star Wars. Like 100%.
Ooh.
I don't think you're wrong. I'm super ridiculously stoked on Astro Bot, and the fact that we're just like less than a month and a half out is awesome. I agree. I think this is the perfect length for a platformer of this ilk. I think I'd rather have a really tight, creative, immaculately designed experience that is over when it's over, and it just is what it is, then feelings tossing some mediocre stuff in just to kind of pad out the experience. I'm stoked. I am incredibly excited. This made me very, very happy to find out. Rice, where are you at on the length?
Yeah, same thing, bro. And like Court, like I am really enjoying any kind of Astro content with my son, and he just like all the time. He guys all this week he's been anytime music comes on has been dancing like a robot, and then would look at
Nice.
me and just be like Astro Bot, and it's the cutest thing ever.
I
But
love that so
he's
much.
just taken a huge liking to Astro Bot and the experience that he has, and like. Guys, he's not a skilled platformer yet. He's only 3, but the fact that he wants to keep jumping into the game and just running around like a maniac, that is the best thing ever. I'm so excited because my son is excited. And so, yeah, super, super hype. Let's bring up the hype in the chat, everybody. Everybody.
I truly think that this game will be huge.
Yes.
Yep. I think there's a lot of hype coming into it, and I think that people are really looking forward to it.
Yeah, man.
I hope it is massive.
Yes.
Just let it be big, big, big. Heading on to our next story, coming from BGC, written by Jordan Midler. The RGG game will be revealed at TGS 2024. RGG previously teased its next title, saying fans would be quote-unquote surprised. The next game from Like a Dragon studio, Ryu Ga Gotoku, will be revealed at the TGS 2024. According to a recent live stream for the studio, they said it will be revealed in September at TGS. No further information is known about the game or which franchise the game will be from, but they are talking about it being surprising. I'm incredibly excited to find out what this is. I absolutely cannot wait.
What's your thoughts, though? Like, what do you think it is?
I think it could be a Judgment 3. Judgment and Lost Judgment were both fantastic. There were issues going around with the likeness of the main character because he's like an ex-idol and he's a genuine celebrity in Japan, and his agency essentially didn't want his likeness to be used on PC, and they wanted to port Judgment and Lost Judgment over to PC. I don't know exactly what it was, but I'm guessing they didn't want mods. Exactly. They didn't want people to mod him into weird stuff. So that franchise, last we heard, seemed to be in kind of limbo. I would be stoked if that's what it is, or if it's a continuation with the secondary main character from those games. If he's going to be the focus, he was already the focus of the most recent DLC for Judgment. That makes sense to me. The surprising part,
which one has been the longest away?
Judgment, because it's the last little while they've pretty much gone like Yakuza Judgment for the last number of years, and then usually Yakuza remakes thrown in there as well. It's way too early for Like a Dragon 9. Like a Dragon 8 just hit in January, so it's way too early for that. I could see them doing another spin-off. RGG does plenty of them. They've done the one set in Edo, Japan. I don't know, maybe it's a remake of Dead Souls, which is like the they made like a PS3 era shooter out of this. There was like a zombie thing. I think they could go in an interesting direction. Judgment 3 feels like the safe bet, but I don't know. And it could be completely Yakuza unrelated. It might not even be within that world. SP in the chat, Binary Domain 2. I mean, could be. Like I would love a Yakuza real-time strategy game. Like not real-time strategy. Give me a strategy game. Give me like a Fire Emblem, but with Yakuza characters, and give me a dating simulator. Give me something weird. And I trust RGG to go out there for the experience. I don't know what it is. I don't know which direction they're gonna head in, but whatever it is, I'll be in for the ride. I can't wait to find out more in TGS. Let's hop into our next story, coming once again from VGC, written by Andy Robinson, because this is the you thought we were done talking about Microsoft. and the FTC. You thought the era of these stories were over. Well, boy, strap in, buddy, because we're about to dive right back in. Microsoft says it's wrong to call Game Pass, quote unquote, degraded, responding to FTC. It is common for businesses to change service offerings over time. In a court filing made earlier this week, a part of its appeal against the $69 billion acquisition, the FTC highlighted Microsoft's new Game Pass tiers, which include a price increase for Ultimate and a new standard tier that doesn't include day one releases. It claimed the price increases were, quote unquote, exactly the sort of consumer harm it tried to stop by fighting the company's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. It also labeled the new standard Game Pass tier, which removes day one releases, quote unquote, degraded. Microsoft basically goes on to say, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Essentially, if you had missed what was been going on in Xbox world over the last couple of weeks, they essentially they're redoing the way that Game Pass works. Game Pass Ultimate will stay at an elevated tier. It's like $20 US and include everything. PC Game Pass, I believe.
Add the caveat that if you've already paid for it, you are going to have to in September pay an extra to keep Ultimate. Yes. I love that email. That was at least people can get mad at PlayStation all they want. But if you remember, PlayStation honored existing subscriptions when they changed their tiers and how it worked. They honored it.
What do you mean?
So if you'd already paid for it, that was fine. When they changed the price, they didn't up you right away.
No, on your subscription renewal date. That's when they
yes.
Yes,
Oh yeah, 100%.
But
Xbox is it's not your subscription renewal date. It's September. I got the email.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's an email that got sent. My subscription
right up
renewal
front.
date is not till next year. And you know what? I'll say it right now. Thank you, but when I talk about college football, EA provided us the code for review. I just want to make that clear. And I want to make this clear. Xbox gave me my Game Pass Ultimate. I read the email. It is still going to be charging me in September if I want to keep it at Ultimate.
Really?
Because it's not an Ultimate tier anymore.
Huh.
Interesting.
What I spent on it, no, it is. It said in September, it said I could pull up the email. I think it says it's going to charge me like 12
X amount of dollars.
Yeah, a certain amount of dollars I'm going to hit with. And I was like, ooh, I sold my Xbox. I don't care. But like, it's just like, ooh, that's not another cool. Thing. Keep going. Sorry, I'll find it.
So basically, Game Pass Standard, which is going to be the new kind of standard price, will not include day one releases, which Game Pass has been known for. When you saw a Microsoft press conference and you saw Game Pass, you knew it was coming day one, and you knew that it was going to be at the Game Pass tier. That tier is going to get phased out. Game Pass Standard will be the new one, and that will not get you day ones. You will still get the Game Pass catalog, but any day ones launching straight into the service, you will not get. It will come some amount of time later, which they are at this point not, talking about what exactly that timeline is going to be. So I find this very interesting because PlayStation Plus was exactly a response to Game Pass.
Yes.
PlayStation Plus, the way that in its current iteration was 100% because of the success and the word of mouth that Game Pass was having for years. And PlayStation was like, we need to get in on this. But we're not doing day one. They were upfront about that from the start. The price increases last year for Extra and Premium, I could understand. For Essential, I still think it's bullshit. I still think it's ridiculous that price got upped without adding anything to the service whatsoever. I still think is absolutely ridiculous. But Game Pass, the major thing and part of the awesome thing about Game Pass, if you had it, you knew you were getting everything. People that wanted it across PC and console, Ultimate was the way to go, and you're good to go. This is really muddying the waters, and now the question will always be: are they going to have Game Pass Standard as a new logo? When they're doing their conferences, is this going to change the way that they're communicating?
Right.
Does this count for indie games? Is it anything launching into the service? And I may have just missed this piece of it. Is it anything launching into the service day one, or is it
anything launching into the service day one? You didn't miss that. That is what it is. And
so it's not just Microsoft.
So
stuff.
There was an email sent out, and everybody got it. So you will have, as in September, there is an additional charge for Game Pass Ultimate members if they want to keep the new service for day and dates. Conveniently, September they picked because all the new games will be coming out in the fall. So they wanted to make sure they got Call of Duty, all of it. So yes, there will be an additional charge of $22 a month if I want to keep that tier. I'm not. I'm just yeah, I'm going to cancel it. I don't care. But I think it's very interesting the amount of people were harping on PlayStation, and even us when we talked about it originally. I remember Matt, when they did the tiers, we talked about it and we were like, well, I still see value in this tier. And I think they've done a very good job lately of making value for premium, but they were open and honest, as you said, about not putting in day and date. The whole premise behind Game Pass, I feel, doesn't exist anymore because the premise was you get day and date. Now it's like, well, no, you get day and date if you pay for it. So if I'm going to be paying that kind of monthly, I think Game Pass, this is just my personal opinion, it's going to turn into something like Netflix where people are going to wait till there's a whole bunch there and they're going to cancel it and pay for it monthly and then resubscribe. With PlayStation, we know we're getting good games, and I think they've been giving us very good games based on the catalog. I've been playing new games, but there's a lot of games I miss, and they end up coming to PlayStation Plus now. With Xbox Game Pass, I think it's going to be turning into a Netflix where people cancel the subscription and only subscribe for when the game is there and then cancel it again.
I think you are 100% right. And that's basically going to be my plan with the Game Pass moving forward, is that, and let's be honest, we all gave Xbox praise for the conference and the amount of quality games that were shown. They have a lot coming. The question is, how spread out will those titles be? Because you start to kind of, math it out in your head. If you're just subscribed to Game Pass Ultimate, ad infinitum, and you're just constantly paying for it, is it going to be cheaper to buy the 1 or 2 games a year, or is it going to be 4 games, 5 games? There's a lot of questions right now that aren't answered, and I just find it interesting that Game Pass has essentially become more like PlayStation Plus now.
Yeah, but even I would say all the difference is they have that extra tier. But I would also look at, I did some, before we started the show, I started looking into the games that have been coming to their service. They don't have the big games anymore. Like, it's very interesting. Like Xbox, like they still have the ones that they had in the service, but it's almost like maybe that's why we're getting the better games coming to PlayStation Plus, because Xbox can only just work on the ones that are coming from them. If that makes any sense.
I still think Game Pass has more indie hitters than Plus does.
Oh yeah, they're big on indies.
Like more more normally. I'm blanking on the word here, but it is more common to get an indie that I'm looking forward to on Game Pass than I am for Plus. They do hit Plus occasionally, day and date, but it is far more common for that to be on Game Pass.
But in the last 3 months, go look at the numbers. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
What you said last episode, we talked about the stuff coming to place, because I went back and even listened to our episode. You were like, hey, the games have been really good lately. So I was like, you know what? I got to look into this. Actually, in the last 3 months, more indies and more bigger selling titles have been coming to PlayStation Plus than they have been to Game Pass.
Yeah. Rice, where are you at on all this?
Yeah, man. Look, after the showcase, I couldn't help but expect this to actually happen, even with the talk about getting rid of the box, getting rid of the and even introducing like Amazon Prime Day. You saw ads everywhere for the Fire Stick and an Xbox controller, and so they're making a push for Game Pass, and it seems like the time for them to make these changes. And although it like makes sense in my head and I was expecting it's poopy, because like the boast was like, yo, I'm gonna get this Xbox game like day one on Game Pass. It was so easy to be like, hey, like even if you don't have the box, you can play this on your browser. There were so many things really incentivizing new players to subscribe. And like you said, this looks a lot more like what PlayStation Plus is, and what it turned into, which does leave kind of a salty taste in a lot of people's mouths. But am I necessarily surprised? No. But it'll be interesting to see how everyone responds to this and what it means. I think that there will be people that argue to say that like, yeah, it makes sense that like if you want to get those day ones, then you pay a little bit extra. But taking something away from what people already had,
who thought they paid for it. Think about the
that's the
person that
issue.
paid for a year. Like, that's what I'm more annoyed about. And I'm going to ask you both a question here, but I'm more annoyed by that email.
Sure.
People, I got my code for free, but there's other people that paid for a whole year of Game Pass Ultimate, and they were like, you're going to owe us money in September because we want to make sure because Call of Duty's coming.
Like,
Now,
at least
PlayStation didn't do that.
No, at least PlayStation was like, everybody was at Essential. Essential was what it was.
Yep.
If you want to go up to extra or premium for the length of time that you have left in your current subscription, we will do that for you at a discounted rate.
Correct.
They at least did that to try and, sell people on the idea of what of their service, while Xbox is now kind of like, too bad.
We got to get our money back for Call of Duty. It is what it is.
Well, that's the thing. The writing was on the wall as soon as Activision Blizzard went through. And I know before they were like, guys, trust us. There will be no price increase. There is no Warren bossing say. Guys, just everybody relax. Let's all just chill out, take a Xanax, and not worry about it. We're Gucci. And now they're like, oh, by the way.
And they did it right after their press conference, which is even dirtier. Like, tell them at the press conference. You're muted. You touched the top of your mic.
Yeah, they just shoot themselves in the foot. Again, the Xbox's current thing seems to be, hey, here's all this goodwill that we're building up. Shoot themselves in the foot. Hey, here's the goodwill. Oh, here's the other foot. Still have the gun. Might as well pop off another shot. Like, it's just.
So my question to you guys: if PlayStation came to us and sent an email and said, "Hey, we're introducing a new tier, Super Megazord tier. It's $22 a month because that's what the new tier is for Xbox. But you get day and date games. Would you pay for it?"
I still think my question stands.
But that's different. That's something they're adding. They're not taking away.
I don't disagree. And for me, at that point, I would just say bump premium by a couple bucks or however much you think you need to bump it by and roll that into there. My question still stands. How many titles are coming at what regularity? If I'm only getting 2 PlayStation first-party titles a year and they want me to pay $50 more a year, is it worth it? Maybe it's a conversation to have. If I'm just getting one, then it's pretty much just as expensive for me to buy the game outright. I have questions about how this will come to function, and I think it would be an easier pill to swallow with PlayStation Plus, because then it would be like, oh shit, we're getting the games day and date. That's awesome. Rather than Game Pass being like, you're losing them.
Right.
I feel like that's a much different.
I agree. I actually think their subscriber base would go huge.
I don't disagree. But I think it just fundamentally falls down to regularity and to how often are these titles going to be hitting the service to make this all worth
messaging. Like, I think you're bang on talking about how many times in the last 10 to 15 years has Xbox messaging been absolutely horse poop. Like, go back to their Xbox One launch. Yikes.
Coming off of the 360, a lot of people's favorite console. Again,
it's just the amount of times they say one thing and actually mean the other, and it's getting to the point where I used to think Phil Spencer was, that's a guy I'd want to play video games with, and I trust. Yeah, I don't none of those things anymore. Like, I don't trust a word that comes out of the guy's mouth because he's just lying all the time.
If it feels like Microsoft just got involved in a big way, I do think Phil Spencer came from good intention.
Sure. So
when he was talking, and I think he believed the things he said when he said them.
Yeah.
But that just didn't end up being true.
The paperwork. Yeah, I do think that there's just a lot of executives. There's a lot of chiefs in the room. So when those decisions ultimately are made, Phil's kind of like, oh snap, I shouldn't have said that then.
Well, especially
when they shut down Tango and then a week later, we need more indie games. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. We need more smaller titles from prestigious studios. And it's just like, what about the
little guy?
Did you look in the dumpster in your backyard? Because there might be one festering in there.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I think this is more so and more so. We're starting to reach critical mass with all this, and it's going to give out if things don't go in one way or the other. And PlayStation Plus, I think, is starting to look more and more like a better way to go if you want.
As a parent, I would recommend PlayStation Plus because I did also do. I constantly always keep track of kids' game versus both services. PlayStation Plus has more games for families than Xbox Game Pass does now, and it wasn't always the case.
That's what I mean. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on this, and we'll kind of go with it as we go. But I have one more question before we move into questions for the both of you. Do you think this is going to prompt PlayStation to do another price increase on Plus?
No, they already did theirs, and they're not giving you day and date. There's no value they're adding.
Because Game Pass, the PlayStation Plus followed suit with Game Pass last year. It was
but there's a difference. I don't think they will this time, because they're gonna this is gonna be more like with the launch of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, where PlayStation's like, yeah, we're gonna let you have this one.
I think that
bad negative press right now. It's just easier to let the Xbox get take it up to.
Yeah, I think for that reason, as well as PlayStation players kind of like in a drought right now, like they would have to really, for them to be like, all right, we're increasing, they would have to incentivize players with something new, like a big deal new,
and not movies.
Yes,
not
movies. Give us a game or something,
Yeah, nobody's subscribed to PlayStation Plus for PlayStation Core or for Sony Core or whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right, folks, let's hop into some questions because we have a bunch from our wonderful community. Chris Zeiser. Chris, you need to tell me if I'm pronouncing your last name right, because I don't know if I am. I hope I am. So please correct me if I'm wrong.
That's definitely how I say it too. So yes, for the two of us.
For just the two of us. Court, that's a reference for you.
I'm well aware. I was actually very impressed that you just
impressed.
Usually it's me that goes into the musical, and Matt just did it there. So
I don't know what that's from, but it played in my head.
Well done.
If you gave me a multiple choice question of who sang that song, couldn't tell you. Kaiser, but with a Z. Zeiser. Okay, so we're on. Thank you, Chris.
All right.
With Twister's movie in theaters, which I'm seeing a lot of hype for, people seem to really like it.
I was supposed to go see it this weekend, and then I didn't, and now I'm regretting it.
My wife is excited for that one.
Well, we know that. Every wife is excited for that one right now.
She loves Twisters.
No, she loves the actor. That guy is
my wife.
He is cute.
Bro's hot.
He is cute. Yeah.
He's hot. It is what it is.
What PlayStation character would you choose to chase down tornadoes with?
Drake. This is too easy. This is no offense, Chris, but like I saw this question, I was like, this is like a unanimous. It's a Drake. Like it's Drake.
I actually thought of him too.
Yeah.
Canadian rapper Drake.
Yeah. Oh man.
No. Nathan Drake. It's 100% locked in. But I will augment it a little bit, and I'm gonna say Chloe.
Oh, Chloe, let's go.
I think Chloe is bae. I think she's an incredible character. I'd chase down some Twisters with her.
She was great. I also thought Crash, but that's more goofy than.
Hold on. If we put Crash in a Twister and he spins the opposite direction of the Twister spinning,
he's not
would
Superman.
that neutralize the Twister?
That's what I thought of exactly.
No, because the guy can die so easily in a game. He would die so quickly.
Dude, you toss that mask on him, the Uka mask, and he's sailing through those things. That is an interesting point.
That was my second.
Just because you said it doesn't make it interesting.
No, it does. It does.
It made sense to me, man.
Chris in the chat, right. Bentley from Sly Cooper. He's got the gadgets. You learn science. That's a good point.
You know what, Chris? I'm gonna say this right now. Poor Bentley, but no. Bentley would just get destroyed. He'd be in that little van. Next thing you notice, he'd be like in their first Twister, and the girl goes, "Cow." Yeah, that's Bentley coming around on the screen. Like, sorry, Bentley, but like, you done, buddy.
I think you'd have to take point if you're running with Bentley. He's the guy here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's the sidekick.
I'm not out here trying to jump into no Twisters. I don't know what happens in these movies. I don't know. Do they fight the Twisters? I've never seen the original.
They chase them.
Twister's a very good film, Matt. Rice, we got to make a list.
5
years I guarantee you, Rice, we could put a list of like 15 movies from like the 90s that you and I love, and Matt will be like, nope. And we'll make him watch them, and he'll be like, dude, what was I thinking? I'm like, I know, fun again. I know.
It was, I don't know, there's an appeal to natural disasters, and
100%.
Twister, I think they all of those movies kind of
ignore the plot.
Yeah, ignore the plot.
Have fun with it.
Yes.
It's like, in the late 80s, early 90s, where movies had no meaning.
Alive.
Okay. So late 80s, early 90s, the movies were just fun. And it's interesting because I was like showing my daughter these movies, and she's like, they're great. And I think we need these movies again. I think we've gotten so far where everybody's looking in the meaning of something, where I'm just like, no,
it's too serious.
Thank you. It doesn't need to be serious anymore. Just Just give me a lethal weapon. Who cares?
My biggest thing with movies that I've come to realize, I don't need them to be like morally gray or like telling a deep story, as long as it makes sense in the story that they're telling.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
my
fair.
brain.
And
breaks
don't
it.
watch late 90s, late 80s, early 90s because it doesn't make any sense.
I just by default start picking things apart. I'm like, why didn't they do that? Why didn't that
Yeah,
happen? Why didn't
like
that happen?
Speed.
If it makes sense within its own space, that's fine.
Have you seen Speed?
The Keanu Reeves one.
Yeah.
Maybe bits and pieces when like my dad was watching on like
not
TSN.
God, it's very
TBS?
good. Have you seen Heat?
Oh, those are such good.
Val
classics
Kilmer,
right there.
Al Pacino.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Rice, we're gonna put a list together. We're gonna.
We
still
need watch
Back
parties.
To the Future. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you can. Nagachaka writes in at Nagachaka saying,
"Dick, straight up, dick."
Phallic. Is the PlayStation generation crew hyped from the rumored tales of Xillia remastered?
Why he even asked this question? He could have just
for me.
Is Matt hyped?
This is for Matt.
This
For
is for
sure.
me.
Gives a crap.
Also, what's the best game from the series and why is it Tales of Symphonia? Nagachaka, I am excited about Xillia because I missed it the first time around and just never really went back. I'm pretty sure it came out when I was like in the midst of like my first couple of years of university and I just didn't have the time or the energy to commit to a big Tales game. So I am excited to give it another go. Symphonia is one of the best, 100%. But also, so is hold on, I blanked on the name. Vesperia. That's the one I'm thinking of. Vesperia was really
Great
good.
name,
Abyss.
right? So good
Not
at
Abyss.
naming.
Vesperia.
Yeah. Desperia and
No,
Symphonia.
Vesperia.
Whatever.
Oh,
We're not
Vesperia.
really caring.
Yeah.
We're
No,
making fun of
care.
it. We don't care.
Symphonia and
gallery.
Vesperia and
Symphonia.
Symphonia.
It sounds like a 90s girl band instead of a boy band.
Maybe then I'd play it more.
Or even a metal band.
Is there Tales from Menudo? Like it's just
Menudo. Oh my gosh.
it's so good. No,
I don't know what that is.
he doesn't know.
Menudo. Oh.
Oh, Matthew.
Like, is that like Italian for minute? Like, wait,
It's like the original. I think they're the original boy band, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
I would think so. Yeah. And then we had New Kids on the Block, and then we had
musical
Backstreet
group
Boys
there,
and
Matt.
NSYNC.
Cool.
Very good.
Symphonia is up there, and so is Vesperia.
Changes better.
Justin D at Jushin writes in saying, with the end of Evo, do you think PlayStation tries again with PlayStation All-Stars?
Right, Rice. This is not a me question.
Hey, look, anything that pushes conversation towards more all-stars is a good conversation for me. And so like I would welcome that with open arms. I mean, would they focus on it? I don't know, and I'm not sure that I would really think that PlayStation would chase it, but hey, I think there would be a really large player base, or at least a chunk that would be like super stoked for that.
Oh, I'd be there day one. All-Stars is still one of the things that I feel like was criminally like passed
but no
on.
one bought it. Like you guys say that, but like the sales weren't good for the game.
I know. I was one of the people that bought it though.
I bought
it too.
I was one of the people that bought it twice across Vita and thing. Or was that?
I did too, Matt. But still, we were
You're
the 10
right.
people. Like okay, like
you're absolutely right.
All 10 of us bought it. Like it's just.
Let me keep my heart on for a second.
But like, look what they're doing. They're going for live service games, and unfortunately, that's not a live service game, so that's not part of the plan.
Oh no, you could 100% make that a live service game.
I'd not disagree,
easily,
but I'm saying it's not part of the plan.
The thing is, I think for Sony to look at an All-Stars 2 remake, whatever it is, I think they would need to see a platform fighter hit now and stay consistent.
That's not Smash.
That's not Smash. Nickelodeon came and went. Multiverses, nobody's talking about it anymore.
Nobody's talking about
it. A lot of the platform.
Hey, Riley's talking about it. No one cares, but Riley's talking about it.
Jake loves it too. To each their own. Like these games, they would need to see dollar signs ahead of this, and then they would chase into it.
Jake's a Flyers fan, so his decisions are questionable to begin with.
Listen, I don't care how much he frequents the Flyers or whatever Miles program he goes with. Okay, but. I think
done. Actually, I was slow on that, but I was like, that was a intelligent. Thank you. Okay.
When I just saw the depth of the palm that Court put his head into, I knew I won. So yeah, I think they would need to see a game hit, and then maybe we'll get it like 5 years too late. Sumit Roy at Black Wyver writes in saying, and this is a Court question. If you were introducing someone to the world of Assassin's Creed, what order should they play the games in? Obviously, it has to be playable on PS5. PS, you guys are awesome. No, you're awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Court?
curious,
If
Court. What is it?
has to be playable on PS5, then you
Mhm.
have no choice but to start with the Ezio collection.
Yes.
I think that is you have like it has to be done because Assassin's Creed 1, let's be honest here, as an Assassin's Creed fan, unless they
Yep.
remake that game, no one should ever touch that. Just throw it in the trash right away. It's not
Yeah.
it's bad. But Assassin's Creed 2 still holds up, especially the Ezio collection. That game doesn't play old game as old. And I'll hand it to Ubisoft. As someone that's gone back and played a lot of Ubisoft games of the Assassin's Creeds, like on older consoles and so on and so forth, they hold up, except Assassin's Creed 3. I
Yeah.
could say that you could skip it because it doesn't play well. I don't know what
Yes.
it is about that game. Maybe it was made originally for the PlayStation 3 architecture, and we all know what happens when games get made greater towards that than the Xbox from that generation. They
Mhm.
don't play well when they're remade. We can
Right.
probably safely say that the Arkham series was made for the Xbox architect because it's able to be remade and it still plays well, but Assassin's Creed 3 does not. So I would
Yeah.
say you do Assassin's Creed 2, and then you do did Brotherhoods or Revelations come next?
Brotherhood and
Brotherhood,
then
then
Revelations.
Revelation.
Okay, so then I would do Brotherhood, then Revelations, and I would skip Assassin's Creed 3, and then I would go straight into Black Flag. And I don't think you're missing much there. And plus, the Ezio collection literally it's like $20 and you get them all.
It's on PlayStation Plus Extra. So if you have extra,
Boom,
it's right
even
there
better.
waiting for you.
And then you do the Origins and the rest of the new ones, and just do them in order, which is fine. Because I think Origins is still good as much as it's okay. But Biok, he's a good character. Like he actually was very good, and that actually gives you more of a almost like a tutorial into the new style of what Assassin's Creed is. But I think without a doubt, you need to play Assassin's Creed 2 first before anything else because one, it's not
Agreed.
long. It's like what? I think it's only like 25, 30 hours. Maybe.
Assassin's Creed 1, just leave it to a YouTube video.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
And
so
then
like watch a cutscene or two and then
Yeah.
get your bearings there.
but Assassin's Creed 2 for sure.
The thing is, so Assassin's Creed 2, how long to beat has it at main story at 19 hours, the main inside's 26.
Yeah,
so
it's
you
not
can get it done
long.
in 20 hours.
Yeah, and it's an easy platinum.
I agree with you. I think starting with the Ezio collection is a good way to go if you want classic Assassins. Again, 2 is the best. I would not even try and understand the giant overarching story because I think it's a mess.
And they don't ever answer it, so just get over it.
People shit on Kingdom Hearts. I think Assassin's Creed is no better when it comes to their overarching narrative across the games. I think it's
I'm going to agree with you there. Yeah,
I think it's a complete, like, don't even bother. Like, just engage with each game for what it is. The Ezio collection works because you have the Ezio as a through line across the 3. If you're looking to start with the more RPG, I think you can go with. I think you can even start at Origins, go through that, and then
you do Origins first. Odyssey is the better. Like if you're going to talk about the 3 RPG games, you've got Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. Odyssey is a masterpiece. It is up there with Assassin's Creed 2. I would say AC2, Odyssey, and Unity. I love Unity.
I loved Unity too.
Yeah, it's very good. Unity's another one. Man, go play some AC games. Jesus.
Yeah, I think you know what? Start with 2 or start with Odyssey. Forget it. Like just if you're looking for if
you want RPG only, then do Odyssey.
Yeah,
because Cassandra is one of the best characters. Her and Ezio are the 2 best characters ever to grace an Assassin's Creed game.
I'd agree.
But
yeah,
those are great thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I
think you can go either way.
It's a game I like.
That's fine.
Same.
That's fine. Just wait till Assassin's Creed Vesperia comes out and you're going to be eating your words. That brings us to the end of this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Court, if people wanted to see and hear more from you, where could they do so?
You can find me on social media at Court Lalonde or every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. on 3 Dads and a Console, or you can find my writing at Console Creatures.
Go check Court out in all the places, along with the PlayStation Hokage Rice. Where can people find ya, boy?
Hey, I'm on Twitch at RiceBoy BOYYY TV. I will be revamping my Linktree, adding a few things in there, so you can visit my Linktree as well at that handle, Rice BOYYY TV.
Go check Rice out in all the places. Of course, you can find me here at Console Creatures, along with butwhythough.net for my words, and each and every week here on PlayStation Generation. That brings us to the end of the week. Everybody, please be safe, be well, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Arrivederci.